AMD Ryzen Strix AI mobile processors rumored to be launching in August 2024 in Ryzen AI 300 series. Welcome to Today AI. It has been rumored that AMD could be launching its new AMD Ryzen Strix AI mobile processors in August 2024. These innovative artificial intelligence AI processors will incorporate the latest AMD Zen 5 microarchitecture, promising significant improvements in performance, efficiency, and AI capabilities. As the tech world eagerly awaits their arrival, it is clear that the AMD Ryzen AI Strix will be a catalyst in the realm of mobile processors and competition for other AI chips already unveiled. One of the most exciting features of the AMD Ryzen AI Strix processors is the integration of a significantly faster 50 AI TOPS class NPU, neural processing unit. This powerful NPU will enable lightning-fast AI-driven tasks, making the processors ideal for Microsoft Copilot+ certified devices. With the increasing demand for AI-powered applications in various fields, such as machine learning, computer vision, and natural language processing, the enhanced AI capabilities of the Strix chips will be helpful for developers and users alike. AMD unwrapped its new Ryzen AI 300 series, codenamed Strix, today at Computex 2024 here in Taipei, Taiwan. With the new chips featuring the new Zen 5 CPU microarchitecture with two types of cores, an upgraded RDNA 3.5 graphics engine, and of course, AMD's new XDNA 2 engine that enables running AI workloads locally. AMD's new branding scheme now brings AI right into the name of the chip, reflecting the company's strong focus on its new AI-focused XDNA 2 neural processing unit, NPU, that now offers 50 TOPS of performance, a 5x gain for the third generation of AMD's AI processors. This level of performance beats all other chips for Windows PCs, including Qualcomm's promising Snapdragon X Elite. It easily exceeds Microsoft's 40 TOPS requirement for next-gen AI PCs, allowing Copilot elements to run locally. AMD has plenty of other advances under the hood, too, with a move to 12-core Zen 5 processors for thin and light and ultralight notebooks that used to be limited to 8 CPU cores and up to 16 compute units for the new RDNA 3.5 integrated graphics engine, an increase over the previous gen's maximum of 12 CUs. The Ryzen AI 300 series launches with two new models, and as you can see in the slides above, these chips come as a single monolithic die. This marks the debut of the smaller Zen 4C cores in the highest-tier Ryzen 9 mobile family, as these cores were previously limited to AMD's lowest-end Ryzen 5 and 3 models with the prior-gen Hawk chips, thus saving power and delivering more compute horsepower per square millimeter than was previously possible. Deeper dive here. Though this technique is conceptually similar to Intel Z cores, still, the smaller Zen 5C cores operate at lower clock rates and thus offer less peak performance than standard cores, but they also preserve die area for other additives, like a larger GPU and NPU. The standard and density-optimized Zen 5C cores both support threading, but we assume the higher boost clock only applies to the 4 standard cores. AMD hasn't shared detailed specs of the Zen 5C cores yet. The HX370 chips also have 36 MB of total L3 cache, the 50 TOPS XDNA 2 NPU, and the new RDNA 3.5 Radeon 890M graphics engine with 16 CUs that run at 2.9 GHz. The chip has a 28 WTDP rating, but its broad CTDP range means that will not reflect its actual operating power level, which we'll cover below. AMD's previous Gen 7040 and 8040 families were comprised of 9 models, so the two new Ryzen AI 300 models are obviously just AMD's first salvo in its new AI-focused lineup. Below, we'll cover the specs, what we know about the architecture and process node, AMD's new branding scheme, and AMD's new AI branding is an eye-catcher. Aside from using AI right in the brand name, AMD also realigned its entire naming scheme. A curious decision given that it had previously announced a rather complex new branding scheme for its mobile lineup that required a decoder ring to navigate. AMD originally said that it expected the new naming scheme to last 5 years, but given the shift to next-gen AI PCs, the company has now pivoted to AI-specific branding a mere 1.5 years later. In many respects, the new branding is easier to comprehend, at least insofar as it doesn't require a decoder ring like the previous scheme, but is also a bit more ambiguous. AMD's model numbering reset begins with the 300 series, so named because Strix is the third series of AMD's mobile AI chips with an NPU. The 7040 Phoenix and 8040 Hawk chips were the first 2 generations, respectively, but the older models will retain their current branding. The new branding scheme only applies to Strix and newer generations. AMD's previous gen chips were carved into swim lanes defined by the TDP, like U-HS and H-series 15/28W, 35W, 45W TDPs, respectively, but Strix point marks a fundamental shift and no longer has a designator for the TDP level. Any Strix point chip can be assigned from a 15W to a 54W CTDP, configurable TDP, threshold by the OEM, just as with the previous gen models, but this will now become a more common practice. As such, AMD doesn't feel the need to call out the TDP rating as a designator in the product name. I asked AMD how its customers would know which laptops run at a 15W or a 54W TDP despite having the same CPU model name. AMD says this approach is similar to what they are already doing with CTDPs, and the intention is to simplify the buying decision for mainstream buyers at box stores like Best Buy. Unfortunately, this is not entirely unlike Intel's own policy of not requiring OEMs to divulge CTDP specifications. As such, you'll need to check reviews to ensure you're getting a capable machine. With TDP removed as a branding measuring stick, the new designators merely signify a brand level. For instance, the Ryzen AI 9 HX370 moniker specifies that the chip is a Ryzen 9 model in the HX category, with the HX designator denoting it's a high-performance top-of-stack model. The last three digits denote the processor number, with the first digit indicating the series, in this case, 300 series, and the last two digits signifying the relative positioning of the chip within that series. For instance, 350 chip would be lower than the 370. AMD also unveiled new badges with the new Ryzen branding. As with all vendor-provided benchmarks, AMD's tests above should be taken with a grain of salt. We've also included the test notes at the end of the album. AMD claims a 5x performance advantage with LLM models over shipping mobile processors in the market today, but notably, the yet-to-be-released 45 TOPS Qualcomm X Elite and 48 TOPS Lunar Lake aren't included in these benchmarks. Thanks for watching. Subscribe this channel for AI update.